MacDonald had a farm. E-I-E-I-O-oh-oh-oh-oh. E-I-E-I-O. You already know what we're reacting to today. Let's go ahead and tap into it.
You know my squad. You know my squad. I said now ain't nobody messing with my squad. You know my squad. You know my squad. I said now get these.
Subscribe squad, it's another day, it's another dollar, and it's time for another freaking reaction, because that is what we do. You look at me and I look at you, you look at me and I look at you, you look at me and I look at you. That is what we do. Now before we go ahead and react to some more Tom MacDonald, and you should do me a favor, hit that like button, that sub button, hit that bell button, because you can ring my bell, ring my bell, my bell. Ring it, that we know every single time, literally every single time that I drop a new video. Not only that, but Scribe Squad, guess what? We have this goal. We're trying to get to 20K subs by the end of the year, and I know for a fact that we can do it. You know, I know that we can do it, because I'm out here getting it, you're out here getting it. We're going to go ahead and get it together and get to 20K subs. Now, with that being said, big dog, I think at 15K subs, it's time for us to drop a new remix. You heard me? Time for me to hit you with the bars. If you haven't already checked out my music, go up there, you know, Spotify, Tidal, Apple Music, type in the word Scribe Cash, or follow me on my social media at TheRealScribe. But it's not time for me to hit you with the bars. It's time for Tom MacDonald to hit us with them bars. I know I'm late on this one, but he has his song. It is called White Boy. Tom MacDonald is also always thought-provoking and just such a, you know, a dope artist. So I'm interested to see what this song is about. I believe it's part of a series, and we've done, like, If I Were Black, we've done a lot of those, so be sure to check out the Tom MacDonald playlist that we have on the channel. But without further ado, let's tap into White Boy.
I cannot feel guilty for that I didn't do, but I can understand the reasons why you think that I should. Yeah, I'm white, but I never put your neck in no noose, and I never burnt a cross or hid my face with a hood. You can't just label me racist, cause I'm related to people who did some terrible way back before I was alive. My parents brought me up to treat everyone as an equal. I refuse to feel ashamed cause of my pretty blue eyes. A Nazi, white supremacist, anyone who labels me as that because of my family genetics. The hatred for Caucasians is so pathetic. Go be proud that you're black, but don't hate me for some credit. I'm not the white devil, neo-Nazi, cop trying to pull the trigger. You can call me what you want, but I'd still never say the white race as a whole ain't the enemy. There's racist white people, but we're far from that collectively.
White boy, don't say that. White boy, oh you so bad. White boy, you wish you were black. White boy, dear white boy.
White boy, white noise. I can't say with my white voice. White boys, white lies. Don't tell me how to see it through my white eyes.
If a black man is sipping on some cognac sitting next to me, I don't assume that every black's favorite drink is Hennessy. I don't dislike Tanisha cause her first name isn't Stephanie. Not only is that wrong, it's a waste of energy. Ivory or ebony, 45 or 17, we all bleed the same. Martin Luther King or Kennedy. They're angry, I'm reciting the facts. He's white and he raps, he stole the culture right from the blacks. Okay, he's fire, but we lit the flame, he's siphoning gas. So this corny little honky man, the whitey is whack. You letting history perpetuate the hatred within, and then you paint me with the brush you painted slave owners with. Yeah.
White boy, don't say that. White boy, oh you so bad. White boy, you wish you were black. White boy, dear white boy.
White boy, white noise. I can't say with my white voice. White boys, white lies. Don't tell me how to see it through my white eyes.
I got a mother, a father, a sister, an auntie, an uncle, and a grandma that I picture when you're openly hating. And God willing, one day I'll have a kid of my own. I refuse to let you blindly hate my wife and my baby, so go ahead and hate the racists. I pray for their extinction. If you wanna hate the white people, just make the distinction between the ones who want the best for everyone regardless, and the ones who build the system just to smother you with hardship. Stop before you say it. I know what you've been thinking. How's a straight white male in 2018 You're making me the villain by demonizing my race for things I didn't do and decisions I didn't make. No one that I call a friend has ever owned a slave, and neither did our dads or our dads' dads. Sakes acknowledging atrocities were wrongly committed is all that I can offer while I'm wrongly convicted. I would never hate a man for what God gave him in pigments, and I would never plot against him just because he is different. I would never judge a human for the cards he was given or call him lesser than myself because of the race that he's mixed with. White people that you hate aren't your neighbors or lawyers. They're the Rockefellers, Rothschilds, Bushes, and Royals. They're the people who monopolized the water and oil and injected your communities with drugs that they spoiled. Got no patience for
Now that was a bar. Now that was a bar. The Rockefeller, he talking about the powers that be. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
and injected your communities with drugs that they spoiled. Got no patience for Nazis, I think they're better off dead. They're fighting hatred with hatred, making the hate more intense. I don't want nothing to do with either side of the fence, so don't blindly attack me for wearing braids on my head. Hate the people who believe you put yourselves in the ghetto. Hate the ones who teach their children you ain't cause they said so. Hate the ones who think you're all the same and judge you profusely cause the way that you're portrayed on our news and in movies. Being white and being racist aren't the same, man, I promise. No, it's hard to tell the difference if I'm just being honest. I deserve the chance to show you I'm not part of the problem, and you owe it to yourselves. We got so much in common.
White boy, don't say that. White boy, oh you so bad. White boy, you wish you were black. White boy, dear white boy.
White boy, white noise. I can't say with my white voice. White boys, white lies. Don't tell me how to see it through my white eyes.
White boy, don't say that. White boy, oh you so bad. White boy, you wish you were black. White boy, dear white boy.
Interesting. Very, very interesting. I will say that much. I feel like I think it's dope the fact that he's willing to have the conversation. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't, like, the fact that he's so willing to have this conversation about race, and that's why I say, like, a lot of the problems is we stop talking about different perspectives. And the fact that he's open to a different perspective than his, he's sharing his perspective, or at least the perspective of people who may look like him, I find that to be very interesting. I don't necessarily agree with everything that he says, that's for sure. But I do agree with the fact that a lot of the problems that people of color put on quote unquote white people is more of a systematic oppression than necessarily individual oppression, even though there's racism still exists, so let's acknowledge that. There are individual racists in the world. And I'd say overwhelmingly in today's society, it's more of a systematic racial oppression. And those systematic people are the people like the Rockefellers. You know what I'm saying? Don't kill me. They're people, it's like, but we have I'd say as both races, we have a lot of the same issues. And we just like 1% of the people own 99% of the wealth in America. Like that, there's a problem. That in itself is a problem. And that's universal for regardless of what race is. We have a disappearance of the middle class. Like that's universal. Why is that disappearance of the middle class? Well, several reasons. You can say like technology, jobs, how we're being educated, we're not being educated. But at the bottom line, 1% of the people own 99% of the wealth. And they don't care to share that wealth with the 99% of us. And they're not trying to. That, to me, is like an ultimate problem that leads and it spills out to a lot of other things like systematic racism, systematic oppression, mass incarceration of African American males, etc., etc. But the fact that he's willing to have this conversation, to me, is what makes Tom MacDonald so dope. Is that he's able to have a conversation and address a lot of different perspectives and not just one. And so, and I also believe that you don't just, assume somebody's racist because of the color of their skin. Now, I do say, though, that from a person of color perspective, I think a lot of times people say things and are acting in a racist way, and they may not be aware of it just because that they have not had those experiences. Like that their thought and their ideas, it's literally been systematically passed down from generation to generation that they don't understand that what they're saying is inherently racist, or their actions or their views are inherently racist. And They wouldn't understand that because they haven't been on the other side of what they haven't experienced what racism is. And so I think like in today's time right now, there's this new thing that black people are racist, right? And so I would correct that term. And I'm not saying I would racist and racism is literally it is a systematic thing that's set up for oppression. I would say that black people are very prejudiced, and this is literally just a grammatical thing. It's the same concept. It's the same idea that you have, but the correct word to use would be prejudice, not necessarily racist. It would just be prejudice, right? And to say that would be true, there are black people who are very prejudiced towards white people in a very unfair way that I don't think it's right. But I just like this conversation. So I want to know, what did you guys think of the video? What are your thoughts about the video? Let me know in the comments below. Please, por favor. More Tom MacDonald. What should we react to next? You gotta let me know. Let a sister know. You know what I'm saying? For sure, for sure, for sure, for sure. All right. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.